Here are some misconceptions about annuities in retirement that could cost you. So let's talk about first the main types of annuities out there. We're not going to cover every example, but let me go through a couple of them with you. The first one is called a variable annuity, okay? A variable annuity means that it is in the stock market. It's with an insurance company. A lot of consumer advocates talk about the variable annuity because the fees can be high. So my personal opinion, there are other people that would differ with me, but I personally do not like the variable annuities most of the time. Here's why. Once we look at all the different fees in a variable annuity, oftentimes, not always, oftentimes the fees can be approximately 4%. You will not see that on your statement because you would have to read that thick book you get in the mail every year called the prospectus. So the fees can be quite high. I have people that come in my office. I had a couple that came in recently and they had $200,000 in a variable annuity. And they said to me, they came to one of my workshops and they said, Pete, we don't have all those fees that you mentioned. We only have $45 in fees. And the reason we know that is because we're looking right here on the statement and it only says we had a $45 fee. And I said, would you like me to call the company for you? We'll do it on speakerphone. We won't call the advisor, just the company, and I can ask the questions for you once we get you verified, and you can see exactly what you're paying in fees. They said, Pete, that would be great. So I called. Once I totaled up all the fees, they were approximately 4%. So 4% on $200,000 is $8,000, okay? I always ask people, do you pay that one time or do you pay it each and every year? And the answer is you pay it each and every year. So if this account stayed level for 10 years, you would pay $8,000 a year every year. That means you would have paid $80,000 in fees over 10 years. And I ask people, did you ever know that it was possible to pay $80,000 of fees over a 10-year time period on a $200,000 account? Most of the time they say, no, I did not. And I did not understand I was paying all those fees. So this is the variable annuity. Now, sometimes I meet with someone who has an old one and the fees are much lower. And those are often something we would recommend keeping. But a lot of the new accounts that have high fees, I think there are other options and better options out there that can give you a better deal without paying those excessive fees. So that's the first type, the variable annuity, which I'm giving you my personal opinion. I don't like the variable annuity. So the second kind of annuity we're going to cover here is just what's called a fixed annuity, okay? And I'll tell you from my 37 years of experience, the word annuity is very misunderstood because people don't necessarily take these as annuity income. As a matter of fact, that's not even done very much as it used to be. It's still done, but it's not done all the time. So, you know, a CD is a time deposit at a bank. An annuity is a time deposit with a big, strong, safe insurance company. So, for example, our second type of annuity is called a fixed annuity. So this is an account. If you had $200,000 in a fixed annuity, and let's say you were getting paid 5% interest, and it was for 5 years, what that means is it works similar to a CD. It's just not a CD, it's an annuity with a big, strong, safe insurance company. So if you were earning 5% on $200,000, that would be compounded, and you would grow your money over 5 years. If you wanted to take out the interest in between, you could do that, no questions asked. After the first year, you could take out the interest. And after 5 years, whatever the account grew to, you could withdraw all your money, take it out, spend it, or move it somewhere else. The time period is over. In this type of account, to have your money there, and this is just for an example only, paying 5%, there is no fees in that account. It is just a time commitment account. Let's cover our third type of annuity. We've covered the variable annuity, we've covered the fixed annuity, and now let's cover number 3, the fixed indexed annuity, okay? So we've talked about the variable annuity, and it is in the stock market, so there is risk and there is significant fees in most of them. Number two, we've looked at a fixed annuity that's just paying a fixed interest rate. And then the third type we're covering is called a fixed indexed annuity, or we're just going to call it an FIA for short. And let me show you how that works. I always tell everybody, there's nothing perfect in life. Every investment that you own has pluses and minuses, has trade-offs, right? And as a matter of fact, let me show you how this one works in particular. I like having money in the stock market. I believe you should have enough there. We work with Charles Schwab. We are advisors, but let me show you what we do to help balance, and this will also explain the third type of annuity. The third one is the fixed index annuity, and we know the stock market goes up and down and up and down. The fixed index annuity works like this. When the market goes up, your account will go up. But when the market goes down, your account will stay flat. It'll stay even. It won't lose. And then when the market goes back up, you go up. Market goes down, you stay level or you stay even, okay? Now, a lot of people would say, well, Pete, I really like the green line. Again, what are the trade-offs? Let me show you what the trade-offs are. Number one, there is a time commitment. And the time commitment works like this. It's often 5 to 10 years of length. So you have a time commitment for that period. During the time commitment, generally speaking, on most all these accounts, you can take out 10% penalty-free each and every year. So while you have a time commitment, after the first 12 months, you can begin to withdraw money and you can take out 10% per year. If you were to pass away, most all of these accounts, the time commitment gets erased and the money moves immediately to the beneficiary, whether that's your husband, your wife, your kids, your grandkids. After the time period is up, you can either leave your money there where you could come get it at any time, or you could take all of it and move it somewhere else. So once the time commitment is up, you're done. But when you have an account like this, generally speaking, there is no fee in most of these accounts. The only time you have a fee in most of these accounts is if you want a feature that's going to give you guaranteed income like a pension. And then when you have that kind of benefit, where if you want to take a lump sum of money and make sure it never ends for as long as you live, and if you're married, for both of you, it turns into like a pension income. It's called guaranteed income for life. There is usually a charge for that of about 1% to 1.2% on average. But if you just have the account by itself, there is no fee in most of these accounts. Number two, there is a cap on how much you can earn in the account. So if you had a cap of, let's just say your cap was 8%, some are higher, some are lower, depending upon the company and the account and the time commitment. But here's the way a cap works. If the market was up 6%, they would give you 6% rate of return. If it was up 7, they would give you 7. If it was up 8, they would give you 8. But if the market was up 10, they would give you how much? They would give you 8%. So that's a cap. So if you wanted to read extensively on the fixed indexed annuity, I'm just being very transparent with you and telling you the pluses and minuses up front. That's the way I would want to learn about them, is tell me all the information. I don't want to find any surprise later on. This is what it boils down to. You want to deal with a very good, top-rated company. You want shorter time commitments. You don't want to go longer than 5 to 10 years. And then you want to have good caps as well. If you're uncertain about annuities in retirement and you have at least $500,000 of investable assets, then go ahead and schedule your complimentary call where we can help you determine if having some of your money in an annuity is the right choice to have a more worry-free retirement.